corresponding left-hand side of the production will be pushed into the stack. That is what we mean by reduction. So this will be repeated. There will be a sequence of shift operations and sequence of reduce operations. Finally, when you find that the input buffer is empty, that is, you have reached the end of the input string, and at that particular instant, when you find that the stack just contains the start symbol, that means you are successful. That is, you have been able to reduce the input string to the start symbol successfully. Now you will declare that the given input string is a valid string. Shift parsing is actually some sort of an abstract concept. There are two practical implementations of this technique. One is known as operator precedence parser. The other one is known as LR parser. And these two techniques basically vary in the way the handles are found. Both techniques has its own way of finding the handles. Let us move to our topic today, LR parsers. LR parsers are based on the concept of what you call as LRK parsing, which is an efficient implementation of the shift reduce technique. So LRK parsing, that means here you have three symbols, L, R, and K. So what are these? L means that it's a left to right scan of the input. You are going to scan the input from left to right. Starting from the leftmost symbol of the input, you proceed towards the right end for determine whether it is valid or not. R means that for, as I told you, in bottom-up parsing, you will be using rightmost derivation in reverse, right? So that is what is meant by R. We are going to use the rightmost derivation in a reverse fashion for reducing the input string to the start symbol. And K, it denotes the number of look-ahead symbols used in the parsing process. What is the number of look-ahead symbols? That is denoted by the symbol K here. So you will ask me, what is the look-ahead symbol? So let us see what the look-ahead symbol is. So the main issue with the parsing is that how to identify the handles. I told that when you find the handle on the top of the stack, you can go for the reduction process. Now the question is, how will you identify the handle? The LR parsers recognize the handles by using a finite state automaton, and also, in addition to the automaton, it uses the next K input symbols. That is, currently you are reading some symbol. Beyond that current symbol, you use additionally K symbols from the input, and also the finite state automaton to recognize the handles. That is how the handles are recognized in LR parsers. Extra K input symbols that you are using for the recognition of handles are known as look-ahead symbols. In LR parsers, in LRK parsing, we use up to K look-ahead symbols. For most of the practical cases, K will be equal to 0 or K will be 1. And generally, when the value of K is 1, we don't specify K. This K is omitted. So when we just say LR parsers, what we mean is the value of K is 1. You are using one look-ahead symbol. If we say it as LR0, it means that you are using no look-ahead symbols. You just rely on the finite state automaton to recognize the handles. No look-ahead symbols are used. Whereas in the case of LR1, you just use one look-ahead symbol in addition to the finite state automaton to recognize the handles. So we have been introduced a new concept. So let us see what are the advantages and disadvantages of this technique. What is the downside and what is the advantages with the LR parsing? This LR parsing is very efficient in the sense that it can recognize almost all programming constructs of any programming language. It can recognize selection statements like if, switch case, etc. It can also recognize constructs like loop constructs like while, do while, for, etc. Okay, almost all the programming constructs that you use in writing a program is recognizable by the LR parsing technique. The second advantage of this technique is that it is much more general than any other shift reduce technique. Okay? As I told earlier, there is one more technique known as operator precedence technique. This LR parsing is much more general than the operator precedence technique. But at the same time, it retains the same degree of efficiency as the other techniques. Comparing this LR parser with the top-down parsers, it turns out that LR parsers are more powerful. That means it can handle more number of grammars when you compare that with the top-down parsers. More number of grammars can be parsed by the LR parsing technique. Finally, this LR parser will be able to detect errors as early as possible in the parsing process. Okay? It will be able to, unlike other techniques, it will be able to detect errors as early as possible in the parsing process. So these are the plus points of LR parsing. Obviously, when you say positives, there should be at least some negative, right? So the downside with the LR parsing is that it is very difficult to construct manually. So one fine morning, if you decide that you are going to write an LR parser by hand, it is going to consume your entire day. Okay? It is very much time consuming to construct an LR parser by hand. It involves a lot of work. So obviously you will require special tools like parser generators that will aid you in writing an LR parser. Luckily, there are various parser generators. For example, you might have come across a parser generator known as YAC. YAC means yet another compiler. Yet another compiler. So this YAC is a parser generator that will help you in that will automatically construct a parser for the grammar. So what you need to do is you just give us input to the YAC, the grammar, and the YAC will just generate the parser for you. You need not do anything; it will just generate the. That is the advantage of using automatic parser generators. You can rely on them to design your own LR parsers. Moving on. Now let us see how really the LR parser works. So we'll first see parsing model, LR parser, and then we will see how it operates on the using the parsing model. So on the screen you will see the LR parsing model. You have the input buffer. This is input buffer where you keep the input string. You have the stack, which will contain some strings. We will come to this soon. And you have the LR parser. And the LR parser is going to take the help from a parsing table. Okay? And the LR parser processes the input and produces some output. So this is the essence of this model. Let us see each of these components in detail now. So first you have the input buffer, which will hold the input. Okay? The input will be terminated by a dollar symbol that will indicate that we have reached the end of the input. So you just append a dollar symbol to the input and place it in the buffer. So this is the input, and you have the stack here. The parsing program will use this stack for the various processing. So here you find that the stack is having a string of the form S0, X1, S1, X2, S2, etc., Xm-1, Sm-1, Xm, and Sm. Here the symbols S0, S1, S2, etc. are the states. I told that we'll be using the LR parser will be using a finite state automaton to recognize the handles. The states of that parser are the symbols S0, S1, Sm, etc. Similarly, X1, X2, X3 up to Xm, they are grammar symbols. It may be a terminal or it may be a non-terminal. So generally we will call them as grammar symbols. So this is the structure of the string in the stack. You start with the initial state, that is S0 or S0 is the initial state. Then you find that the string alternates between grammar symbol and the state symbol. You have one grammar symbol followed by a state symbol. And you find that the state symbol will be the top of the stack will be always a state symbol. Here Sm is the state Sm is the stack top. Coming to this parsing program. So this LR parsing program, what it does is it just reads a symbol from the input buffer. So currently I'm reading the symbol AI, and currently the top of the stack is Sm. So the LR parser finds that the input symbol being read is the symbol AI, and the top of the stack is the state symbol Sm. What it will do is it will go to the parsing table to know what action is to be performed. Here you find that the parsing table has got two parts. There are two parts for the parsing table. One is known as the action part, other one is known as the go-to part. So you will recall that for a shift reduce parser, there are four actions possible: shift, reduce, accept, and error. Okay? So those four actions are specified in this action part of the parsing table. Okay? So for what combination of the input symbol and the state symbol I should reduce? For what combination of the input symbol and the state symbol I should perform shift operation? So all those details will be given in the action part of the parsing table. This go-to is essentially the transition diagram of the finite state automaton that is used by the LR parser to recognize the handles. So the go-to part will be just having the state numbers. It is a transition table for the finite state automaton. So the LR parsing program, it starts reading the input symbols one at a time, and for each symbol read, it looks for the combination. It looks at the action table, what action is to be performed. And based on the action specified in the parsing table, it will do the relevant action. It will perform the relevant action. So for one particular combination, you will be having the accept action. So that means the given input string is valid. You can declare that you have successfully completed the parsing process. That is how the LR parsing program works at a higher level. Okay. Details we will add in later. This is at the top level, at the peripheral level. This is how the LR parsing program works. Now coming to this output could be anything. For example, you might use a parser to evaluate some expression, and the output could be the result of that evaluation. The output could be used to could be the result of the expression evaluation. Or it could be as simple as just displaying the productions used. Remember, the bottom-up parsing is reducing the input string to the start symbol. So whatever productions are being used in the reduction process, you can just list out the various productions. That could be also another form of the output. So either you can either the output could be the result of some expression evaluation, or could be just the display or the listing of various productions used in the reduction process. So having seen this parsing model, let us see how really the parser operates. Okay, how the parser operates, that we'll discuss. So you find that AI is the current symbol being read, and current top of the stack is SM. Okay, so that is the current configuration now. Current stack contents are S0. S0 is initial state. Now X1, S1, X2, S2, etc. up to XM, SM, with SM being at the top, and A is the current input. What the parsing program, what the driver will do, the parsing program is also known as driver program. So what the driver does is considers the parsing action table for the combination SM AI. SM is the current top of the stack, A is the current symbol being read. For that particular combination of the state and input symbol, what is the action to be performed? For that, you will refer the action part of the parsing table. As I told earlier, it could be one of the four values: shift, reduce, accept, or error. So accordingly, the parser will proceed as follows. What should you do when the action specified is shift? What should you do when the action specified is reduce? Accordingly, the parser will proceed as follows. Let us take the case one by one. First, let us assume that the entry for that particular combination, the table entry for that particular combination is action. That combination is shift S. Shift S. So this means that you want to perform the shift operation. Shift operation means the input symbol that you have read now will be shifted into the stack. Yes means that after shifting, you need to, the finite state automaton will move to the state yes. So this is what is written here. When you find that the action specified is shift yes, you will shift the input symbol into the stack, and also the next state symbol will be pushed into the stack. The finite state automaton will be changed to the state yes. It was in the state SM. Now it is changed to the state yes. So both the state yes and the current input symbol will be pushed into the stack. So before this operation, before this action, this was the stack contents, right? So when you perform this action, what should you do? You should shift both the state and the input symbol into the stack. So the stack will now become S0, X1, S1, X2, etc. It ended with XM and SM. Now you have pushed the input symbol AI followed by the next state S. This will be the stack contents. Now understand that since you have shifted the input symbol into the stack, the next input symbol that you are reading will be AI plus 1. Okay. This is current symbol. If you are shifting that into the stack, the next will be AI plus 1. That is what written here. AI plus 1 will become the new current symbol. That is the case when the entry is having a shift action. Now let us discuss what is the reduce action. What will you do when the entry specifies a reduce action? So listen carefully. This reduce action is a bit involved. So just listen carefully. So suppose you find that the action specified is reduce A derives beta. Reduce A gives beta. So what it means that it is the time now to reduce, and you are for reducing you are going to use the production A gives beta. A gives beta is the production that you are going to use for reduction process. Now the reduction process will be executed as follows. First, what you will do is you will just identify what is the length of the right hand side beta. Length of beta means how many symbols are there in. Suppose you have A gives BC. Okay, you have the production rule A gives BC. Beta is BC, right? Beta is BC. Beta is the right hand side. So what is the length of beta? 2. You have two symbols B and C. So length of beta is 2. So beta is nothing but the length of beta is nothing but number of symbols in beta. So let R be the length of beta. If that is the case, you will now pop 2R symbols from the stack. Will pop 2R symbols from the stack. So if you look at the stack, you find that at the top, the pop operation will be always performed with respect to the stack top, right? Remember the operation pop. At the top, you have the state symbol. So if you move downwards, it alternates between state and grammar symbol. First, you have a state symbol. Below that, you have a grammar symbol. Below that, you have a stack state symbol. Below that, you have a grammar symbol. It moves downwards like this. The string of the stack alternates between the state symbol and the grammar symbol. So what you need to do now is you need to pop 2R symbols from the stack. So since the stack string alternates between the state symbol and the grammar symbol, if you want to pop 2R symbols, it means that you need to pop R state symbols and you need to pop R grammar symbols. 2R symbols means you need to pop R state symbols and pop R grammar symbols. So let me give a simple example. Suppose the production to be used is X gives Y. Okay. What is beta here? What is beta here? Y, right? What is the length of beta? 1. You have just one symbol for beta. That is Y. So what you need to do? You need to pop 2R symbols. That is, you need to pop 2 symbols from the stack. That means what? 2 symbols mean SM will be popped, XM will be popped. So if you find, so here you find that of the 2 symbols popped, one is the stack state symbol, other one is a grammar symbol. So of the 2 symbols popped, one is state symbol, other one is grammar symbol. So you can generalize that if you pop 2 R symbols will be state symbols, the remaining R will be grammar symbols. That is what is written here. So once you pop the 2R symbols from the stack, the stack contents will be like this: S0, X1, S1, etc. up to X M minus R, S M minus R. So S M minus R will be at the top of the stack. This will be the top stack content, will be the top state symbol. Now what you need to do is you need to find what is go to Sm minus R AI. Okay. For the combination Sm minus R, which is a current stack symbol, current stack top symbol, and AI, which is current input symbol. For this particular combination, you determine what is the go to. Assume that go to table gives the entry yes, where S is some state. Okay. That entry is yes. Assume that entry is yes. Now what you do is you will push both A and S onto the stack. First A will be pushed, then S will be pushed. What is A? Left hand side of production that you are used for production. Both A and S will be pushed onto the stack. So earlier the stack was like this before the reduction operation. So after this it will become like this. Both A and S are pushed. Remember S will be the top of the stack. I repeat, if the action entry specifies to perform reduce action using the production A gives beta, what you are going to do is you first find the length of the right hand side beta. You first find the length of the right hand side beta. Let it be R. Then you pop 2R symbols from the stack. R symbols will be state symbols, remaining R will be grammar symbols. On popping 2R symbols, you will end up with the stack like this: S0, X1, S1, etc. to Xm minus R, Sm minus R. Then you look for the combination in the go-to table. What combination you will look for is the Sm minus R is the state, the input symbol is AI. So let that go-to entry be state yes. Then you will push the left-hand side of the production tool A as well as the next state S onto the stack. The stack now will become like this. Finally, as I told earlier, if you want to output the production being used, you can just put the production. So now for production, you are using production A gives beta. You can just print the production A gives beta. Now you should note 2 points here. One is that in the case of reduction operation, you are not shifting the input symbol into the stack. Only the left hand side of the production as well as the next state symbol S will be pushed into the stack. The input symbol is not at all changed. That is, the input symbol will just be retained as AI. It will not change to AI plus 1, unlike the case of shift operation. The next point, it is much more interesting. What it says is, remember, you are popping 2R symbols, right? Of that, the R symbols are the grammar symbols. Xm, Xn minus 1, etc. up to Xn minus R plus 1. If you find that, so you, it is interesting that this particular sequence, Xm minus R plus 1, etc. up to Xm, that will be matching with the right hand side of the production. That is, the sequence Xm minus R plus 1 up to Xm will always match the beta. It always match the beta. That means this particular sequence of symbols is a handle. This particular sequence of symbols is a handle. So you find that the handle is at the top and you perform the reduction operation. Okay? That is what we told. That is what I told earlier. When you find that the handle appears at the top of the stack, you perform the reduction operation. So this thing, this sequence of symbols, Xm minus R plus 1 up to Xm, that will always match the beta. That is the handle. One more point you will note here is that this Xm, the rightmost symbol of the handle Xm, will be at the top of the stack. See, here you have Xm at the top. Below that only you will be having Xm minus 1. Below that you will be having Xm minus 2. It will go downward. You will be having Xm minus R plus 1, right? So the rightmost symbol of the handle Xm will be at the top. You should keep this point in mind. We will use it later. I think this has more complicated when you compare with the shift operation. Don't worry. We will see an example soon. Then things will soon get its clarity. Okay, as of now, understand like this. Don't worry, you will understand this more when we look at an example. So we have seen what should be done when the action specified is shift or reduce. The third case is accept. So if the action specified is accept, it's very easy. You just accept the input string. You declare that the input string is valid and can finish the parsing process. You declare that the parsing is complete. Finally, if you find that the entry is specified as error, it means that somewhere the parser has discovered an error and the error will be thrown. That is what you call as a syntax error. Okay. Very familiar with syntax errors when you do programming. Most of the time we end up with syntax errors. This syntax errors are displayed when the corresponding entry action is error. So these are the four actions performed by the parser for the combination state symbol and the input. So having seen all this, it is very much motivating to see an example. Before moving to an example, we'll just see the parsing program. Whatever we have seen now as the various steps, I have written this as an algorithm here, what you call as an LR parsing algorithm. So this is exactly what you have seen before. So we'll just rush through this algorithm and we will move to the example. So the parsing algorithm is taking as input the input string W. Okay, you want to check whether the input string W is valid or not. So that input string will be taken as input, and the parser will also be given as input the parsing table. Remember, the parser refers the parsing table for what action to be performed. So the parsing table should also be given as input. As output, as I told earlier, if it finds that the input string is valid, the various steps in the reduction process will be displayed. What are productions being used during the reduction process? Those steps will be displayed. That will be the output. Or on the other hand, if the input string W is not valid, if it is not in the language of the grammar C, it will be producing an error. The error will be indicated. We have just two outputs. Either the production tools will be displayed as such if the input string is valid, or otherwise it will be just indicating an error. Before executing the steps of this algorithm, you need to do some initialization. What you will do is the initial state S0 or S0, whatever you call, that initial state will be pushed into the stack, and you place W dollar in the input buffer. What is W? That is input string given to you. Dollar is appended to the input string. But what is the purpose of having a dollar at the end? It will just indicate that you have reached the end of the input string. So that appended input W dollar will be placed in the input buffer. Now, once you perform this initialization, you can go for executing the steps of this algorithm. So first, so you have a pointer known as IP, or the input pointer, that will be set initially to the first symbol of the input buffer. Then you repeat a loop forever. Repeat a loop. So what we are going to do is we are going to look for the combination. Let S be the stack. Let S be the state symbol on the stack top, and A be the symbol pointed to by the pointer I. That means the current input symbol is A. The current stack top is S. For the combination S comma A, you you consult the parsing table and determine what action is to be performed. So if the action specified is shift S dash, what does that mean? We should shift as well as the next input symbol is, next state symbol is S dash. So you need to shift the input symbol. What is input symbol A to the stack? After that, you should also push the next state S dash into the stack. So push A, then S dash, which is next state into the stack. Once you have performed this operation, the next input symbol will be AI plus 1, right? So you need to move the pointer one position right. That is, you advance the pointer to the next input symbol. This is shift operation. Coming to reduce operation. You are told to use the operation told to use the production rule, A gives beta. So you pop 2 into length of beta symbols from the stack. So if you do that much number of pop operations, you will be left with some symbol, some state symbol on the stack top. Okay, let that be S dash. Let that be S dash. Now what you need to do? You need to consult. Go to S dash comma A. What is A? Left hand side of the production. A gives beta. To find, go to S dash A. Now what you need to do? You push both A and go to S dash A into the stack. That means the left hand side of the production as well as this go-to entry will be pushed into the stack. You can print the production. A gives. This is what we have seen for the production operation, production action. If the action to be performed is specified as accept, you can just return because there is nothing much to do there. You just declare that you are successful in passing the input. You can just return. And finally, if it is not one of these three actions, shift, reduce, or accept, it means that we have ended up with an error somewhere. You just call an error routine, which is written as error. You just call an error routine, error function that will handle the maybe that will display the what is the error, whether you omitted some semicolon, something like that, right? What is the error display? What is the error that will be displayed? Let us move to the much awaited example. So suppose you have a grammar with 6 productions. Okay? E gives E plus T, E gives T, T gives T star F, T gives F, F gives parenthesized expression E, and F gives I. Suppose you have a grammar with the 6 productions like this. And for this grammar, you want to check whether the input string ID star ID plus ID. Okay? The input string ID star plus ID, you want to check whether that particular input string is valid or not. For that, you will use these productions. Typically, you will be using the parsing. Let us see what this parsing table is. So this is the parsing table. As I told earlier, the parsing table has got 2 parts. One is known as the action part. Other one is known as the go-to part. The action part just specifies what is the action to be taken. So you have the combination state symbol and input symbol. For this particular combination, what are the actions to be performed, that is specified in the action part. As I told earlier, the go-to part just specifies the state number. It is just denoting the transition table of the finite state automator. Let's concentrate on this action part. Okay, you find entries like S5, S6, S7, etc. What does that mean? This S means that you are going to perform a shift operation. Phi means that the next state is S5. It means that you want to perform a shift operation. Phi means that after performing the shift operation, the next state will be phi. This is one type of entry. So the second type of entry is one which pertains to the reduction operation. R2, R4, R6, etc. R means that, let us take R2. R means that you are going to perform a reduction operation. 2 means that you are going to perform a reduction operation by using the production number 2. As I have seen earlier, the productions are numbered here, right? So R2 means that you are going to perform the reduce operation by using the second production rule. The second production rule, E gives T. E gives T. Using this production rule, you are going to perform the reduction operation. ACC means accept. There are some blank entries here. Those blank entries denote invalid combinations. That is, their errors. So if you somehow land up in one of these blank entries, it means that the parser has detected some error. Now let us parse the input ID star ID plus ID using the parse. So what was the initialization phase of the algorithm? You push the initial state S0 into the stack and place W dollar in the input buffer, right? So here the initial state is state 0. You push that into the stack. Actually, you have state 0 in the stack, and the input string is ID star ID plus ID. You append with a dollar. That appended input is placed in the input buffer. This is the initial configuration. You have the initial state in the stack. You have the appended input in the input buffer. Now, what you need to do? You need to go to the parsing table and verify what is the action. So you need to check what combination that the current top is 0, current input symbol is ID, right? So you need to check for the combination 0 and ID. Where you will check in the action part, right? So you go to parse table, check the combination 0 ID. So 0 ID. What is the entry there? Yes, 5. What does that mean? We're going to perform the shift operation. After perform shift operation, the next state will be 5, right? Now what do you do in shift operation? You push the input symbol as well as the next state into the stack, and you advance the pointer, right? So you need to perform shift operation. You need to perform shift operation. What you need to do? The input symbol was ID, that is pushed. Next state was what? 5, right? Remember, next state was 5, S5. That's state symbol 5 is pushed into the stack. Okay. Hope I'm clear. S5 was the parsing table entry, so you need to shift. So the input symbol was pushed into the stack. 5 means the next state is 5, that will also be pushed into the stack here. So this will be the stack contents now. Next, what you need check for the combination 5 and star. What that 5 and star say? 5 and star. What does that say? R6, right? What does the R6 denote? You need to perform reduction operation using the sixth production rule. Okay, what is sixth production rule? F use ID is the sixth production rule. So you need to use that production rule to perform the reduction operation. So in reduction operation, what you need to do? You need to pop 2 into length of beta symbols. So you will end up with some state on the top. You find what is go to S dash and A. Then what you need to do? The corresponding left hand side and the go to entry will be pushed into the right. Let us do that now. So the entry was R6. So I'm going to use the sixth production rule. Okay. So F gives ID is the sixth production rule. What is beta here? ID. So what is length of the beta? 1. You just have one symbol ID. You just have one symbol ID. So you beta length of beta is 1. What you need to do? You need to pop 2 symbols from the stack. Am I correct? You need to pop 2 symbols from the stack. What will happen? These 2 symbols will be popped off the stack. ID and 5 will be popped off the stack. Now on removing ID and 5, what is the state? What is the state symbol that you have on the stack? 0, right? What you need to do? You need to. So what does once you have popped, let S dash be the stack state symbol on the top. What you need to do? You just check what is go to S dash A. Okay, what is A? Left hand side of the production rule. Once you find the go to entry, you push both A left hand side, also the go to entry into the stack. Let's do that. So ID and 5 were popped. Currently you have 0 at the stack top. I need to check 0. I need to check for the combination 0 and star. So 0 and to check for the combination 0 and F, right? See here, you need to check for the combination S dash and left hand side, right? Go to S dash and A. So you come back here, left hand side is F. You need to check for 0 and F. That combination you need to check in the go to parsing table. So this is go to part 0 and F. What is that? 3. So what you need to do? You need to push the left hand side of the production as well as the go to entry into the stack. So here, what is the left hand side? F. Next state is 3. So both will be pushed. So F is pushed, T is also pushed. Fine. Hope I am clear. Now we continue this operation. Next is what? 3 and star. What is 3 and star? 3 and star is reduction R4. Reduce using the fourth symbol. You reduce using the fourth production. So which is fourth production rule? T gives F. T gives F. So you need to pop two symbols from the so F mean right hand side is having just one symbol. You need to pop two symbols. So F and 3 will be popped. So you have 0. You check for 0 and T. Okay, check for 0 and T. 0 and T. What is that? 2. So what you need to do? Left hand side and 2 will be pushed into the stack. T and 2 will be pushed. This is what 2 and star. 2 and star is S7. Means shift and push state 7 the stack. The symbol was pushed. So if the shift operation means what? You will be shifting the input symbol. So here you find that in all these reduction operations, the input pointer was retained at star itself. You don't consider an input symbol. But here the shift operation consumes one input symbol, so that will be shifted, right? So the star was the current input symbol then that is pushed, and 7 is also pushed. Now what? 7 and ID. 7 and ID. ID you have S5. 5 will be pushed. Now 5 and plus. Again, so ID is pushed. So you are moving the pointer one position right in the input buffer. So next in combination will be 5 and plus. 5 and plus is what? R6. R6 is F gives ID. So you do the reduction operation. Two symbols will be popped. Do the reduction operation. So this will be like this. 10 and plus. 10 and plus is what? R3. What is R3? You need to reduce using the T star F. Now see here, right hand side is T star F. That means what? You have 3 symbols. That means you need to pop 6 symbols. So what are the symbols to be popped? 10 F 7 star 2 T. Symbols will be popped. Now you need to check for 0 and T, right? 0 and T will give you 2, that is pushed. Next is 2 and plus. 2 and plus is R2. Perform reduction operation using the second rule, that is E gives T. It will be like this. E gives. So you can go on doing like this. Finally, find that you end up with the last step like this, and 1 and dollar is the last combination. So there, 1 and dollar is accept. Yes, stop the parsing. This is how the LR parser works. This is how the LR parser. We'll just repeat this process once again, and we will wind up the session. So this is the initial configuration. You have input state 0 at the stack, and the current input symbol is ID. So you need to check for the combination 0 and ID. So 0 and ID is S5. So you need to shift, and the next state is yes. So both the input symbol and the next state will be pushed into the stack. So ID and 5 both are pushed into the stack. Now what you need to do? 5 and star. 5 and star tells you to perform reduction operation using the 6th rule. What is the 6th rule? F gives ID. You need to reduce using the 6th production rule, F gives ID. So this is of the form A gives beta. Beta is the right hand side. What you need to do in the reduction operation? You pop 2 into length of beta symbols. So here the length of beta is 1. So you need just to pop two symbols from the stack. Okay. So on popping two symbols from the stack, you will be left with some state symbol on the top. Let that be S dash. Now what you will do is you find go to S dash comma A. What is A? The left hand side of the production rule that you are going to use. Okay. You find that particular entry, go to S dash comma A. Once you have found that particular entry, you push the left hand side as well as this go to entry into the stack. That is what this algorithm says. Let us do that now. So if I pop two symbols, what will happen is ID and 5 will be popped. That means 0 is the symbol that is left in the stack now. What you need to do, you need to find go to 0 and left hand side. Left hand side is F. You need to find the combination go to 0 comma F. Let us do that now. Go to 0 comma F is 3. The next state is 3. So what you need to do is both the left hand side of the production as well as the next state will be pushed. Left hand side of production is F, next state is push. Remember these two symbols were popped earlier. So 0 was the symbol at the top. Now this will be F3. Now you check for 3 and star. 3 and star is reduction using fourth production rule. Fourth production rule is T gives F. Right hand side you have only one symbol. So you pop two symbols. So F and 3 will be popped. You have 0 at the top. Check for entry. Go to 0 and T. 0 and T. 0 and T is 2. What you need to do? Left hand side as well as the go to entry will be pushed. So F and 3 are already popped. 0 is there. T and 2 will also be pushed. Remember that or notice that here in the reduction operation you are not touching the input number. The input symbol remains as such. Only the shift operation, the input symbol will be consumed. No symbol will be consumed in the case of reduction operation. Next is 2 and star. 2 and star is shift operation. Very straightforward, you can do that. Now, this shift operation means the star is consumed, so star will move to the stack. So star is consumed. Next input symbol will be ID. 7 and ID is the next combination. 7 and ID. Then it is a shift operation. Straightforward. This again ID is consumed, so ID will be changed to the stack. Next is 5 and plus. 5 and plus is R6. Reduce using the last production. You pop two symbols, ID and 5 will be popped. Check for 7F. 7F is what? 7 and F is 10. So 10 as well as this F will be pushed. Then notice that reduction operation doesn't consume any input. Next symbol is plus itself. 10 and plus. 10 and plus is R3. You reduce using the third rule. What is third rule? T is T star F. So right hand side is T star F. So the length of beta is 3 symbols. You need to pop 2 into 3, 6 symbols from the stack. So which all will be popped? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These symbols will be popped, right? Now you have 0 at the top. So 0 and F go to that you need to find. What is the entry for go to 0 and for not F T? You are using the third rule, right? T. The T is the left hand side. You need to go for checking the entry 0 and T in the go to part. Go to 0 and T is 2. Go to 0 and T is 2. So that will be, so these 6 symbols will be popped and left hand side T and 2 both will be pushed. Is 2 and plus is R2. You reduce using the second rule, that is 2 symbols will be popped. So T and 2 will be popped. 0 and E push E and 1 into the it is 0 E1. 1 and plus is 6. fix an ID. Shift, again shift operation, you can do it. You can continue that like this in a similar fashion. Finally, you find that the last combination will be $1 and $. So $1 and $, the combination tells you to perform accept operation, accept action will be performed. Finally, you accept the symbol, declaring that the string is. I think we can stop for today. Hello.
We are signing off this session, sir. All the attendees, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Narasimhan, sir, for your valuable time with us.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.